Pittsburgh as a lawyer. In 2011, after growing weary of arguing with other lawyers, he decided to argue with Stubbs instead, and now he rebuilds old structures. He is married with 2 kids who are, in his words, perpetually in school. Please welcome Greg Stafford.
When we came to Pittsburgh and started to do the SoCo project, there were a couple of people that couldn't have happened without, okay. And one is Taylor Hobbs, because I'd never developed anything in my life. So he kind of held my hand, showed us what to do, and frankly, it's all his design anyway. My wife wrote checks, he designed it, and this happened. The second is Robert Reeves, without whom coordination with the DOT and getting this thing done simply would have not happened. So remember those 2 people when you drive by and you see what's happened, because that's why it happened. The SoCo project was a lot of fun. We tore down some buildings, we built some new ones and made a nice patio. The next phase that we're doing is the old hospital, and that building, we're currently in the design phase. Hobbs is coming up with the design set this week. We're going into permitting. And in order to make all of this work, we're having to do some programming. So we've created some programs in downtown Pittsburgh. We did a pub crawl, which was pretty fun. We had 2,500 people show up for that. It kind of overwhelmed the system, and our businesses had record days. And one of the interesting stories, talking about a hotel, the end of the night came and I was standing in front of the mod with some of the deputy sheriffs who we had brought on to control the crowd. And there were people literally crying outside going, I want to go home, but I'm drunk, I can't drive. And there are no hotels and there's no Uber. And we actually had deputies call their wives at home. This is not a joke. Their wives got out of bed and for free were ferrying people back and forth to Cold Park Plaza where they could get an Uber to go home. We desperately need a hotel, and what Chatham Park is bringing us are the facilities to allow downtown Pittsburgh to thrive. That wasn't my idea, that was Mackenzie Allgood, who said to me, you gotta coordinate with them more, and nothing said how desperate we were for the facilities that Chatham Park is giving us than that little story about what we had going there. I don't have a lot much more to say about it. We're designing it, we're trying to make it happen, and once we get through regulatory, we will. We're excited that it's gonna be there. We have a brewery coming in on the main space in the corner. They're very energetic and optimistic. I'm more pessimistic than they are because it's hard to get things right now. They expect to be open September. I expect to be open next year sometime. We've had a number of restaurants come and look at the new 2-story building. I'm being allowed to be picky right now, meaning my wife said we can leave it open until December, waiting for a sushi restaurant, an oyster bar, or something that we don't already have in Pittsburgh. We're begging them, we're going around eating and saying, please come to Pittsburgh. But right now, we don't have it filled, we're trying, and we want to get something y'all like. We're going to do office space in the old hospital. Upstairs, if everything works out, we're going to do a condo my wife and I will move into. And I guess the only other long-term plan is down by Al's Diner. We have a spot that's got, the arborist said, I think, 8 300-year-old trees. And so how do you develop that space without destroying that space? And so we came across this idea, Taylor and I, to do what's called a treetop bar, which would be raised up into the canopy of the trees, and you do that, but that's way down the road. So that's what we're trying to do, and if you have any questions, we'll be sitting down there and ready to ask.